listening to the Moto-MOTO Live Show, hosted by my dad, Jack Brassfield.
So let me ask you, did you drive that big Tonka truck here or what? So it's the fourth lap, you've been in the lead the entire race, and you tangle up with some banners? Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, this is the next wave. Don't tell me about struggle. When I started racing, I was going to the track in a four-door car. My bike was in the trunk. Okay, it's time to get serious. The windows are down, you're driving down the back road. Are you listening to country or rock and roll? Tell me seriously, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
You are now listening to the Moto-MOTO Live Show, hosted by my dad, Jack Brassfield.
Okay, it's the last lap. Your teammate is right in front of you, and it's the last corner. What's your next move? Supercross, motocross, arena cross, I don't care. These guys are the gnarliest men on the planet. And let's not forget about the women in this sport. Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha, Honda, KTM, Gas, Husky. What's next, guys? Bull Taco? Last week, you made it to the podium. Who helped you get there? Now, let's talk about the lappers. Now, I don't know about you. I've got a different view on this. If I'm in 8th place and I get the blue flag, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm racing for 8th place.
You are now listening to the Moto-MOTO Live Show, hosted by my dad, Jack Brassfield.
No, I disagree totally. The last chance qualifier is my favorite race of the night. When else are you going to have everybody laying it all on the line just to get into the main event? So what's your train look like these days? Is that milkshake part of it, huh? Who's your first phone call after the race? Favorite set of gear, go. Who do you follow on social media? They say everybody puts their pants on the same way. Baloney! Is it left leg first or right leg? You know, I don't care what they say. We were friends before this race, but I'm not going to dinner after this is over. Okay, you're on the podium, your mechanic hands you the hat to do the interview. Is it ears tucked in or regular status? Chocolate or vanilla?
Sit back, relax. Yes. Here comes Jack Brassfield with the Moto-MOTO Live Show.
Hey, we're opposite, right? Awesome. We are live at the Stony Creek Hotel in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Guys, thanks for coming out, the live audience. I appreciate that. If you're at home sitting on your couch, I appreciate it. You are probably watching this on Facebook Live or Instagram Live, and tomorrow it'll drop to YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And so tonight we've got an exciting show. So let me start with this. I'm your host, Jack Brassfield, and I've got my sidekick over here, Jackson Brassfield. And thanks for coming out to the Stony Creek Hotel. They're hosting all of our events on Wednesday nights. And Stony Creek has locations in Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Our guest tonight is from Canyon City, Colorado. He's 29 years old. You've seen him on the Nitro Circus Tour with Travis Pastrana. He's been featured in music videos like This Is How We Roll by Florida Georgia Line. That was an awesome video. He's been in Rihanna's fashion shows. He's sponsored by FXR Gear, Kicker Audio, EVS Sports, Acerbis, Alpine Stars. He's your current Who's Your Arena Cross halftime entertainment. This dude travels the circuit with them doing backflips and front flips. He's a former top 5 finisher in the 2016 X Games. This is my buddy, Anthony Murray. Thanks for coming out, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Excited.
Awesome. So you drove down from Colorado, and how was the drive? How's the weather?
Yeah, that's right, man. You called me like 2 weeks ago, asked if I come do the show, and I was like, man, it's a long drive, but you know, I wouldn't miss it for anything. I love telling my story, so yeah, it took me about 10 hours to get here, and just pumped to be here.
So I'll ask you, like I asked Trey last week, what do you drive down here? Lamborghini, Porsche, Corvette? What are you driving?
I was trying to pick my pilot out of the crowd. He drove me here.
Oh,
or flew me here, sorry.
You're a pilot. Okay, professional. Okay, gotcha.
Just kidding. I drive a pickup truck.
Gotcha. All right. So guys, my goal tonight is to introduce you to Anthony Murray, and when you leave here, you know who Anthony is, and you feel like he's more than just a guy that you saw at the halftime show. We're going to feel like he's my buddy when we leave here. So we're going to jump right into the Icebreakers segment that's designed to break the ice and get to know you a little bit. That segment is sponsored by Tulsa Sports Acupuncture. They're right down the street here at 421 North Main, right here in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Dr. Matt Sheets and his wife offer acupuncture, massage, and cupping. If you'll mention the show when you walk in their front door, mention the Moto Live Show, and they'll give you 10% off. Let me tell you, I was skeptical at first, and I talked about this last week with Trey. I was skeptical at first, and, I was like, cupping? What is cupping? I mean, it's just a deep tissue massage. No, seriously, it does work. Jackson was injured a few times last year. It works, right?
Yeah, it does. It's a good massage. It's better than a massage, so it's.
And I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what are those circles on your back? You know?
Yeah.
And so he's like, Dad, I told you I went cupping, you know? So what's cupping? So you got me to try it, and it works.
Yeah, they do acupuncture, cupping. I think just regular massage too. They're really cool over there.
And the acupuncture is like an old Chinese technique.
Yeah.
And so I'm a believer now, guys. I mean, it's really cool. You take off your shirt and you're like, yeah, you've got these circles down your spine, and it's like everybody's like, what's wrong with you? But
it's wild.
we went to the pool like the next day, and everybody was asking,
what's going on? Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, it does.
And please support the ones that support us. Dr. Matt Sheets down there at Tulsa Sports Acupuncture. They're the sponsor of the show, so support the ones that support us. So we're going to dive right into this Icebreakers. So you're driving down here from Colorado. What's the drive like? 10 hours, 15 hours? What is it?
Yeah, so it's a 10-hour drive. I mean, not much to see. You're going from all these scenic mountains, and then you're just coming out to flat prairies out here. So,
Kansas.
I mean, sometimes it can be a really long drive, but once you get here, it's not too bad. I love the Oklahoma country. Summertime's great when it's green. So
Yeah. I can't stand I-70 from Denver all the way to the Kansas turnoff at 35. That's the most dreaded drive. There's nothing.
There's nothing, and usually the wind's blowing the entire time.
Yeah. There's no mountains to break the wind, anything like that. So are the windows down? Are they up? Are you listening to talk radio, country, rock and roll? What are you doing?
Just straight Motley crewing it, windows down. No, just
girls.
kidding.
Yeah.
No, most of the time when I drive, I like to analyze things and think a lot. So I listen to a lot of podcast shows and just really just analyze life and what's going on,
Man, you know what? Jackson got me turned on last year to the podcast thing, and I've heard of the podcast thing, but they're exploding everywhere, and so it makes our drive go from boring to next thing you know, we're in the next state, and then the next state, and we're listening, and then we ended up getting to Mini O's this last year, and we had listened to the Max Boland podcast on Whiskey Throttle. And so when we get there and he's there, I actually go up to him because I'll talk to anybody. And I'm like, dude, we listened to you and your dad the entire drive down here. It's like a 3-hour, 4-hour show, but, you have to keep stopping and pausing. So, anyway, it lasted half the trip. And so they're exploding. It's awesome. So you're thinking, you're listening to podcasts. So right now, what's the last podcast you listened to?
Let's see. Well, I just listened to the Brian Deegan interview. What podcast is that?
They're like on every day.
Didn't Whiskey
Brian
Throttle
Deegan has
just
his own
Whiskey
channel.
Throttle.
Whiskey Throttle.
Yeah. So I just listened to Whiskey Throttle. I listened to Brian Deegan because he's a real smart guy. He's built a pretty big empire. He built the brand Metal Militia, and he is one of the founders in freestyle motocross. So I wanted to tap in and kind of see what his thoughts were, and kind of a little more on a personal view, and see who Brian is,
He's like the ultimate dad, man.
Yeah.
He's like the super dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
what were we going to say?
No, have you ever ridden with him?
Yeah, actually, I am friends with Deegan. When I lived
really?
in California, we'd go over and ride at his place.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's like super dad. And you know what's awesome about him is when you see him at the racetrack, because Jackson has raced Hayden, And when you see him at the racetrack, he's not like stuck on himself or anything like that. It's like, I need a spark plug. He's got a spark plug.
Mm-hmm.
I need to help push this bike off the track. He helps you, and he's a cool dude. And all you have to do is walk up to him and talk to him and ask him something. You know, kind of the standoffish thing with guys like us with tattoos half up your arm. You know, you're kind of, you know, you're looking at him different. But I don't. I will talk to anybody, and I'm just like, hey, dude, what's going on? You know. And now he doesn't remember me or you know, not everybody. He's approached by everybody, but yeah, he's a cool dude. So you're listening to the podcast. So no music.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I listen to
Oh, you said
music.
Motley Crue.
Yeah,
said Motley
there
Crue.
we go, Motley
So like
Crue.
the only song I can ever even think of is Girls, Girls, Girls.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Okay. All right, so you've got it blaring. Did your girlfriend come with you tonight?
No, she couldn't make it to this one.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
All right. So did you drive straight through? It's a long drive.
Yeah, I mean, 10 hours for Road Warriors is pretty easy. I mean, shoot, that's a short drive. Sometimes we do 20, 30, 40-hour drives, so 10 hours is nothing.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so let's dive right into your freestyle. So most guys out there start at 3 or 4 years old, and they've got training wheels. Did you have a motocross upbringing, or did you just dive right into it?
Yeah, I pretty much just dove right into it. You know, I grew up, I loved riding bicycles, so I already had a passion for two wheels. I love flying my my bicycle through the air, so I already knew I loved jumping. And I remember a neighbor kid, they had a motorcycle, and they'd always ride it by the house. And I'm like, man, I just love that. I want one so bad. So I remember just begging my mom, probably like 2 or 3 years straight, to get me a dirt bike. And I think she was just more worried about me getting hurt or something, so she never got me one. She waited for a while, probably till I was a little bit older. So it was the Christmas when I was 11. I finally got my first dirt bike, and it was I think it was a 1989 PW80. Just, I mean, it's nothing brand new, nothing shiny, but I mean, it was a dirt bike.
So the PW80, it fools the mind because it's not an 80. It's like a 50 with an 80 title. Right. I mean, it's not an 80. An 80 is this tall, and it's a racer. It's a racing machine. And the PW80 is like, I got an 80. You don't have an 80. You know, what I'm saying? It's a large 50, right?
For me, I think it was a great learning bike because at the time, I didn't know what a clutch was.
Right.
So it was, you know, there's no clutch, and you just got 3 gears. And I think it was a great beginner's bike to get me started.
Okay, all right. So you're a Yamaha fan. Yamaha fan, right?
I was for the longest time, yeah. I rode.
What was after that? What'd you graduate to?
Let's see. I went to Suzuki. I rode Suzuki for 6 years after my Yamahas.
Got the two-stroke 85 or?
So I bounced back and forth between Cowie and Yamaha. So I went from the PW80 to KX80. And then I went to a YZ250, and then I rode YZ250s for a long time.
So you skipped the 125?
Yeah.
Oh
I think that's like a freestyle guy thing. Like a lot of the freestyle guys you talk to, they're like, yeah, we just went straight to a 250. I don't know if it's an ego thing or what.
So yeah, so you said it's a freestyle thing. So our audience is probably going to mainly be talking to motocrossers, supercross racers, arena cross racers, racing guys. And I don't think you guys get the credit sometimes as a freestyle guy. I mean, it's like I'm not going to do backflips, let alone front flips. I mean, I can do a one-hander or something like that, but you don't get the credit sometimes.
Yeah, I think, freestyle guys kind of earn the name, with the tattoos and stuff. Everybody kind of thinks we just party, and especially in the earlier days, they did. But, I mean, back then they had X Games, they had Dew Tour, they had all these big contests that were televised every single weekend. And so guys like Cowboy Kenny Bartram, Travis Pastrana, Brian Deegan, they're all at these contests making big names for themselves. And, it's unfortunate for guys like myself coming up. We haven't been able to get that type of exposure because they don't offer those contests anymore.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I do feel we are a little underrated, especially when you compare us to like football players or something. They're getting paid a million times more than we are.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're entertaining, I mean, the entire Tulsa Arena Cross, the entire Kansas City Arena Cross. I mean, the entire crowd. You're traveling the entire circuit for Hoosier Arena Cross, right? The last 2 years, we've seen you on the circuit.
Yeah. So the last couple years, I've been on with Hoosier Arena Cross, and it's been a great connection. You know, like I've grown really close to you guys. I've developed a family. I've developed friends or fans through that circuit, and it's just cool being able to go there every weekend and kind of feel like you have a family that you're going to every weekend.
So I'm glad you mentioned family, because I'm going to dive right in, because I know a little bit about Anthony's story, and I think that he came down here, and it's we need to hear his story. He's got he mentions family. He gets to know the Brassfields. He gets to know the Pines, and we're on the tour with him, and we see him every weekend. But let's talk about family, because I know you have an awesome story. Okay, you mentioned your mom. What's the deal?
Yeah, man. So everybody just thinks they don't see the behind the scenes. They think top athletes, they just come up and it's like, wow, you're so lucky. You just get to ride a dirt bike.
You're rich.
Yeah, they don't see the grind. They don't see your upbringing or anything. And like we were talking earlier. My mom raised 3 kids, so we didn't have much money coming up. So we just had to do with what we had. I never had a dad growing up. He never wanted to be in the picture. So there's lots of struggles that people just don't see.
So your dad obviously didn't know how awesome you were going to be, or something like that. So talk about that. I mean, tell me about that, because somebody out there in the audience tonight, or driving down the road in the next day or 2 or week, is going to listen to this podcast, and they may need to listen to this. They may need to hear this.
Yeah, I don't really know what was going through his head, but yeah, like I said, my dad just wasn't there, and it turns out that I turned out to be a pretty good freestyle motocross rider. So I mean, hopefully one day he sees it and is like, dang man, I really wish I could have known him. But like I said, I grew up without a dad, so I know no different.
Yeah, but your mom was probably making bank. She's buying you bikes, right? I mean, come on, man. You're doing backflips, and she's probably working at IBM or something like that, head of Google. What's the deal?
Oh, I wish, man. But I think that's really what is that's why I'm sitting here tonight, because there's 2 paths that you can take through life, and it's a path that's given to you or a path that you work for. And I'm here because I've worked for everything that I have, you know what I mean? And some people, the people that just get it given to them, they don't usually make it that far because they have nothing to thrive for, If I don't make it, who's going to provide for me, Failure's not an option, so.
I love it.
It's a good way to look at it.
I love it. Failure is not
I've never
an
heard
option.
that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love it. What do you think about that, Jackson?
That's wild. Yeah.
Goes hand in hand with moto, because if you crash, man, you got to get back up and do it again,
So this guy definitely does not get the recognition he deserves. None of the freestyle guys do. I mean, I've seen Anthony at the races. I've seen you going down the road, and I'm like, I'm coming up on you in my van, and you're having to drive slower than I am. I'm coming up on you in Memphis, Tennessee, or something. I'm like, dude, that guy's pulling a ramp, and it's like, that's Anthony Murray. I mean, he's pulling his own ramp and his landing to the shows, and working for it, putting the grind hours in. And I don't know how much they're paying you. We're not going to get into the contracts or anything like that. But I don't, and then you get 15 minutes of fame, right? 15 minutes or something?
Yeah.
Well, it's technically 30 because you get 15 minutes Friday night and 15 minutes Saturday night.
Okay, so 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Guys, listen. This guy's doing backflips.
And front flips.
Front flips.
Yeah.
He has a special ramp. So one night he'll do a backflip or something, and it's straight up. And the next day he's doing a front flip, and it's got like a special lip that slaps your front.
To send you into a front flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To send you.
I don't know whose idea that was.
That was
completely stupid,
yeah.
but
Whose idea was
hey, it
that?
works out. I think it was Travis's. Imagine that.
So he created the
Yeah.
slap. I mean, does it slap your front end?
Yeah, so what happens is it's got this big radius at the top, and when your front tire hits that, it pushes this ledge out of the face of the ramp, and that ledge actually hits your back tire, and that's what kicks you like like you're getting.
So your front tire goes right over it, but your back tire hits
exactly. So your back tire hits it, and it's just like hitting a massive kicker off of a jump, and
Which
just
is the
getting,
worst nightmare
Yeah,
for us.
exactly. But you're doing it on purpose.
So to a motocross racer, we're like,
That's
oh
horrible.
shit,
Yeah,
we're
that's
going
horrible.
down, right?
He's
Right.
like, I'm going to
You're
do a front
like,
flip.
this is what I wanted. This is what I.
Exactly. I was going for that.
All right. So Travis probably thought of that ramp.
It was, yeah, it was Travis.
Was
He-
it?
He
Okay.
comes out with some crazy ideas for sure. So
Which
So-
we've been to his house, and it's
It's
an
a
event.
nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
yeah, if you make it out there in one piece, you're doing good.
Yeah.
So Randy Pine and I drove out there one day. I talked a little bit about it on the other show, and I'm not trying to make it about my adventure, but we did go out there one day, 1 week, and it was crazy. Tana and Kylie and Jackson flew out there and met us out there, and the entire place is a playground. It's a playground. He's got skateboard ramps and bicycle ramps and motorcycle jumps, and he's got everything you want to ride. He's got it. I don't care if it's a skateboard, a scooter, a street bike, a dirt bike, a go-kart. He has it. And the rule is, if I remember this right, Randy, if I'm remembering this right, you can't ask.
If it's yours, or if you can use it.
What is
It's MINE.
Yeah,
You can't say that
that's
word.
right.
M?
Yeah, nothing is MINE.
Yeah, or you
M-
have to do push-ups.
Yeah.
M
20 push-ups.
I-N-E.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because I don't remember. I'm
Well,
I don't
It's
know.
not
I don't.
mine. Yeah,
I don't
it's
really
not
know.
mine. It's-
I don't
so
really
it's
know
mine.
who came up
yeah,
with it, but
it's just mine.
okay. So you can't
that.
say that's mine. You
you
can't.
better
Right,
do
you
Yeah,
can't
20
mind.
right.
push-ups.
So basically, everything is available.
Yeah, which
But-
is awesome.
Yeah, and so we're jumping into foam pits, and I had a broke collarbone at the time, so I'm wanting to jump these things, and I couldn't do it. He's a lunatic,
Yeah.
and he literally has to go from one trick. I'm not joking. He goes. We were doing a 24-hour bicycle race, and I don't want to talk too much about that because I know we're gonna have Bartram on soon,
Yeah.
and he's gonna have some killer stories, but. He goes from like a trick or something, and then has to go right into the hot tub. No shit, I'm
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah,
He goes
Runs
right
up his
from.
stairs.
He'll go a lap on the bicycle or something, and he literally goes straight to the hot tub.
Yeah.
He has to hot tub his knees and his body because we tear the heck out of our bodies.
Especially
Yeah, we
him.
do.
Why? Why are we doing this?
Man, sometimes I ask myself that, especially when I'm waking up, and man, my neck hurts, my back hurts, my shoulder hurts, but it's just something about twisting a throttle, and it's just being on that bike. Yeah, you just feel one with it, and it's a connection you really can't explain unless you ride. You know?
It's hard
I've
to get away
never actually done crack cocaine.
from. But you know the feeling.
But I think I might know how the addiction feels. I don't know. Maybe I already have some fake teeth because I've knocked them out in racing, and so that actually was going to be one of my questions. I'm like, dude, are your teeth fake? Because
all
you've
real.
got
They're
some
perfect.
straight white ass teeth. I'm talking. What is the deal? And so those are real teeth.
Yeah, what do you got? Whitening strips?
Yeah.
for
Well,
sure?
you saw me run around for 3 years with braces.
With braces,
Yeah.
he's
you
a
know? So,
29-year-old,
yeah.
or a couple
Looks
years
19.
ago, 26, 27-year-old
Yeah,
man with
exactly.
braces, and I'm like, hell, he's only 17.
It was pretty awkward, but hey, man, it pays at the end. So
Well, you got yours. I had to pay for mine. Here you go. So, all right. So, Jackson, I know you have a few questions. Dive in there. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
dude. Okay, so you said you don't race motocross, or you never did, right?
yeah, that's
You've
correct.
never
yeah.
raced?
Yeah.
Well, my racing career was very short. It was one race, and that was it.
One
And you were
race.
like,
One
I'm
race.
done.
I don't know
That's
if
it.
anybody
Never done
has a
anything
story
else.
like that.
So,
Wow.
okay, so I'm showing up to this race, and I actually reach out to the local community to help with sponsorship, so I could even get in the race. Because, like I said, we didn't come from money. We don't have money. I don't even have money to enter. So, we raised some money so I could go there and race, and I'm on this clapped out 94 YZ250. I think the rear fender's probably zip tied on, and man, this thing was a rust bucket. And I remember in practice I ended up blowing my motor up, and some dude's like, "Hey, I got an extra bike. You want to ride it?" I was all, "Heck yeah, I do." But man, I remember that bike had head swaps so bad, and I remember I think I was in third place. I was racing 250 novice, and I was in third place. And I got head swapped so bad, and just
So, again, you
yard
skipped
sale.
the 125.
Yeah,
you went
just-
straight to the 250.
Just skip the 125.
You're
yeah.
crazy already. That's
So-
why you're jumping.
Yeah, so I just straight yard sailed, and yeah, that was my racing career.
Yeah.
So one race. I don't know if anybody has a story like that. What's up, Nick? I don't know if anybody has a story like that. I raced one time and I went straight into freestyle, backflipping.
Well, I mean, it was free because we lived next to some local hills, and so that was free for me to go out and ride my dirt bike every
So
day.
tell me about that. So tell me about that guy you live next to.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Crazy
yeah,
Joe or something.
yeah, crazy Willie. So basically,
Crazy Willie.
he's a trip, man. So yeah, before I got my first dirt bike, where we moved, Willie lived just a block down from me, and I met him because he was letting the neighbor kids ride his go-kart through the alleyway, and I was like, there's engines, I'm there, you know what I mean? So I go
Did your mom know you were hanging with Crazy Willie?
Yeah, they.
She was at work.
She's at work.
Probably at first, but yeah, she met him and she was okay with me hanging around him. Because at the time, I'm 11. I think he was like 24 or 28 at the time.
Hang on. This doesn't
sounds
sound
real
good.
weird.
He's 11, and you're 11, and he's
You wanna
24.
come ride my go-kart, kid?
Yeah,
Let's call your mom. Let's find out about this.
it may sound
Yeah, we'll
strange,
validate
but I
it.
mean, you know,
I'm just joking. Crazy
got
Willie,
his
if you're
own
watching
family
this,
going,
we're
and
just joking.
You're not that crazy.
he's got his own family and stuff going on.
Okay,
but he's
okay.
just a really good dude, letting people, getting people involved in motorsports and helping them out and stuff. So finally, I get my first bike, and he would take me riding every day after he got off work because we were probably like 4 or 5 blocks from those free ride hills. So he'd get off work and we'd just ride down the alleyways and ride till dark.
Did he teach you to wear the proper helmet?
Did he
and
wear
chest
a helmet
protector?
or no?
No,
'Cause
he's
I mean,
never
I
wore a
remember
helmet,
at dinner
so-
you telling me something.
The only protective gear he's ever worn is motocross boots. Like, this guy has long hair,
That's
and
a
he
good
just
idea.
lets it flail in the wind. Like, I've seen this guy do some crazy stuff with no helmet. Like, I've seen him go down this hill, get kicked off the bike, split his head wide open, and he just takes his t-shirt off, wraps it around his head, jumps on his dirt bike, and heads home. He's pretty wild.
So like curled hair, perm.
It was
long.
curled. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it
I
was
just
curly hair,
imagined it.
so...
He was just kicking it back.
oh yeah, let's get going. Right, yeah, he's wild. So I think I get some of my crazy riding style from him for sure. So
All right. Crazy Willie, we want to get you on the Moto-MOTO
Yeah, we
Live
need to.
Show. All
Did
right.
he teach you how to ride a dirt bike? Who taught you how to ride a dirt bike?
oh man, I mean, it was just his advice is just get on the thing and
Twist it.
just yeah, exactly.
Give it a
That's his
twist.
advice. Give her hell, you know.
Jimmy McGarth.
Yeah, exactly.
So this leads us into the next segment, sponsored by Roost MX. Christina Denny at Roost MX has stepped up in a big way. This segment is called Go Big or Go Home. You guys check out Roost MX at roostmx.net, and if you mention the Moto-MOTO Live Show, they're going to give you 10% off. And I'm telling you what, they've sponsored Jackson in the arena cross circuit for the last 3 years. The thing I love about Roost MX and Christina and the crew down there in Atlanta is once you get your design and everything on board, their thing is I can get it turned around and mailed out in 48 hours. So hopefully I'm saying that right, but
It's awesome stuff too.
it's amazing. It does not tear up as fast.
No.
So Roost MX offers motorcycle graphics, T-shirts, pit shirts. I know Nick has some pit shirts. We like to look professional when we go to the pit to the races, and we do. We look great. They can print almost everything. Trailer graphics, you
Wrap
name
your
it.
car.
So this segment, Go Big or Go Home, is sponsored by Roost MX. Please check them out, and they're a huge supporter of this show. And we're going to throw out some T-shirts here in a minute. That they gave us a huge goodie box of T-shirts. By the way, we are going to be asking audience questions, and so type in your questions if you're online watching right now. We're going to do audience questions from the live audience right now, and then we're going to throw out some Roost MX T-shirts and hats. So anybody out there have a question for Anthony Murray?
Just come up to the mic.
Awesome, Mike, come on
Come
up.
up to the mic, Mike.
All right, I know you're expecting this question. I just want to ask, just this is how we roll. Just what it was like. Did you get to know everybody? I just want to know how that went.
Yeah, man, that experience was really cool. That was probably one of the first experiences of like a real Hollywood production behind the scenes deal. So, yeah, I just got a phone call one day. I think actually Kenny Bartram called me up because he was on that set as well. So he called me up and said, "Hey, man, they want some more freestyle riders for this. Are you interested?" I was like, "Heck yeah!" And they actually shot it out in Paula, California, and it was an all-day thing. They shot it all day. But yeah, it was super cool because Luke Bryan was there and Tyler and I forget the other guy's name, but yeah, so it was really cool. The whole Nitro Circus crew was there, Travis. So we got to hang out and shoot it and talk with the guys. So it was a really fun experience.
I saw that video. So that was This Is How We Roll, Florida Georgia line. And aren't you guys in a trailer, in a semi trailer?
Yeah, that's actually I think Kenny shot that part. I did the riding part.
Okay. So you're out in the middle of a field, and there's a semi-trailer. You guys are in it, or on top of it. What's going on?
Yeah, so actually that was before I showed up, so I have no idea what those guys were getting into. But
so you show up, and they're doing this crazy stuff. What's your role in the video?
How did you roll?
How did you roll? This is
how you roll.
Yeah, basically I was just jumping over the semi-truck they had parked there doing flips and riding wheelies and burnouts. So.
Oh my God! And was there a party afterwards and bonfire and all that?
Man, it was such a long production that there wasn't really any time for that. Like, it literally took all day long.
So are they on speed dial now? Florida Georgia line?
I wish they were. I don't know them that well. Man.
I'd be like, this is what I want to get paid. I don't want to get paid. I want to make sure I want to have you on speed dial. We want to go to dinner next week.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be doing. Okay, so Mike, for that question, we're throwing out a T-shirt. Roost MX is sponsoring this segment, so we're throwing out a T-shirt. What size are you, Mike?
Extra large.
Extra large T-shirt coming to Mike Price. Boom.
Perfect throw. Maybe
Awesome. Thank you, Roost MX. Christina, I hope you're watching, and we're throwing out your merchandise right now. Mike's going to order some graphics for his bike next week. All right, who's the next question?
Order it for the Harley.
All right, step up to the mic, sir.
How you doing, Anthony?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm going to preface this question with, did you see the light?
Oh, okay. There we go.
I love it.
When you said that, I was thinking about the Super Bowl show this year. No, actually, that was super unexpected. Well, it was kind of expected.
What's he talking about?
Tell him where.
What's he talking about?
I didn't watch that.
They're talking about. He's talking about when I front flipped and took out the lights in the Ford Truck Arena
right here in Tulsa.
Yeah, at the Hoosier Wintercross.
Yeah.
So prior to that, I was actually talking to you guys and saying like, man, I just don't even know, because I actually positioned the ramps to where I peaked between the rafters and dropped back down in, so I didn't hit the rafters. But I didn't really account for the light. And on the front flip, I go a little bit higher when I do the front flip, and my front tire ended up taking that out, and like, it was totally unexpected. When I hit, I thought I hit the rafters. And my thought in my head is that I'm falling straight down and backwards.
Did your front tire hit or back?
I think it was my front. They actually have some photos.
So you're flipping front. You're flipping front, right?
Uh-huh.
So did it hit on the first rotation or second?
It would be on the way around. So I'm coming this way, and then it hits. So
did you just sit up there? You just hung up there and just like chilled? You just grabbed on while you're change the light bulbs on?
And he goes back and does it again.
I could have done a couple pull-ups off the rafters.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, it was totally unexpected. I didn't, like, when I landed, I was like, I had to look back like a couple times because I didn't even know what happened. So. And
then on top of it, you've got Jay Reynolds standing on top of the airbag. I'm like, get out of the way! He just hit the light. Get out of the way. Jay Reynolds, the promoter of Hoosier Wintercross, is standing on top of the airbag, right?
Yeah, he was.
And why?
Hey, that's his own choice, man.
Jay, we love you, Jay. I hope you're watching, but
you're nuts
that's
for that.
Crazy. You're just as crazy as Anthony.
Yeah, he bounced. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but like
he jumps.
He bounces every time you land.
Yeah.
Their
bags have a little bit of a bounce to them.
It may not be Jay. It's Nitro Ned.
Oh,
Nitro Ned.
Or wait, what's the new? Who's your daddy?
Yeah, who's your daddy?
It's Who's Your Daddy now, right?
I've never heard of the Who's Your Daddy, but
Back to Nitro Ned.
Back to Nitro Ned. Anyway, Hey, Jay, you put on a great series, and we love it. Jackson actually won the 2019 Super Mini title, and we ran that entire series, and he puts on a great show. He's crazy. He's a little bit crazy, but I mean, when we see
He's like your
him,
buddy that lived next to you. He's
yeah,
like the
Oh,
known
yeah,
guy.
he's
Crazy
Crazy
Willie.
Willie.
Yeah.
He's Crazy Jay.
Crazy Jay.
That's his new name.
That's his new
He's not
name.
Nitro Net anymore.
No, Crazy
He's
Jay.
Crazy Jay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Randall, thank you for the question. Thank you for our live audience. We're going to throw out a hat to Randall. So this is a Roost MX segment. So we're throwing out a Roost MX hat. This is awesome, dude. Those hats are awesome. So anyway, I think I heard the story like those hats were Randy. Randy called and said, I actually want some camo hats. I don't know if she created them for you, but like you gave her the idea, right? Okay. All right. We're claiming that Randy Pine with Riker Pine as the youngest 50 rider on the tour gave him the idea. So we're going with that. Gave him the idea of the camo hat with the fluorescent. If that's false, we just make it up
Some
as we
dude at
go.
home.
Hey, this is Facebook Live, man. I don't know.
Their
We're not-
designer's probably pissed right
Hey,
now.
David, we're not fact checking, right? We're not fact checking. All right. All right. So, what's your next question, Jackson?
Does he have a question?
Oh, we got another.
We still
Oh,
got
hey,
another
I'm sorry.
t-shirt.
I'm sorry. Oh man, we've got
Cutting them short.
we've got audience.
We got one more
questions.
T-shirt too.
So I've got one question and one quick story afterwards.
Speak up to the mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, I got one question and one quick story. So I assume Deegan, Pastrana, Bartram, all the freestyle guys ride regular too, just ride recreational. So I'm assuming you do as well.
Yeah.
I've been riding for 25 years. My dad got me started when I was 4, so I've always wanted to ask this question. Is there any other preparation before you go start doing flips than you are before like a race or just riding? Because I've been riding forever, and every time I go to the drop gate, it still gets me goosebumps. It gets me going. I love the sport. Is there any other something you got to do ready? Because this is a lot more dangerous than just racing.
Like a pump up song
Yeah,
or like a pre
right.
jump?
Anything
Yeah.
else that you got to do different? Because it's just.
So I hopefully online can hear that. The question is, what do you do to prepare before a
Yes.
flip or something?
Because it's a lot different than just.
Do you
racing.
like
Right.
smack yourself in the face? I mean,
Come on,
You
you
turn
better
your hat
do
around
this.
backwards.
Gotta
I
get
mean,
going.
What are you doing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like I tell everybody, it's like you got to learn to walk before you run. So, my advice for somebody, if you're wanting to learn how to do flips or freestyle in general, you have to be so comfortable with jumping, because when you're doing these tricks and stuff, you don't think about controlling your bike anymore. You don't think about flipping your bike. It is so natural that the jump is it just happens, and then it's just the flip. That's all that comes. But
I'm not buying it.
No.
it's
No.
still scary. So I mean, we do use foam pits and stuff, but there's only so much preparation that you can do, and then confidence just comes from just being prepared. You know what I mean? So once you're confident, then I mean, what's gonna happen? You're gonna crash or you're gonna land it. If you're not scared to get scuffed
Yeah.
up, then
You
send
might
it.
break your femur. I don't
Yeah.
know. Something like that.
But that will heal.
Yeah. I don't.
It only hurts till the pain stops.
Yeah.
And then we took my cousins to the indoor race what was it, like a month ago?
Yeah.
And my name's Anthony too.
Okay.
So they got excited watching you do the flips and stuff. I just wanted to let you know, you made me look bad because they said my name's Anthony, so I should be able to do flips.
There you
and I'm
go.
like, no, it's not happening. So.
Yeah, that's how it usually works. Your mom names you Anthony, and you're able to do flips.
Hey man, it's better late than never.
Awesome question. So we actually we have one shirt left. We're throwing out 3 items. So
Yeah, what
you
size
get a
t-shirt
shirt.
are you? Okay, it's a medium. We'll just get him a different one or whatever.
Would that work?
At the end of the show.
Medium. You look
Oh, you think
big in it. You look
Yeah.
like you're working out at the Hub Gym down in Broken Arrow. Okay, yeah, we'll switch it out.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
All right. This isn't really much of a question, and not really FMX related. This has to do with Oklahoma and a place known to everybody probably here, known as Appalachia Bay. Anthony, is Appalachia Bay, also known as Appalachia Bay, really that crappy?
Man, my first experience of Appalachia Bay, I was in heaven. That place was awesome to me. It's just I feel like Oklahoma doesn't have that much. Well, coming from Colorado, it doesn't have that much trail riding like I'm used to in Colorado. So Appalachia Bay was like a breath of fresh air. I felt like it had a lot of that rocky terrain, tight courses, trail riding. It had riding through water. So, hey man, I would go there again.
Hey, I'm not gonna agree. When I think of Appalachia Bay or Keystone, I think my bike's not gonna run the next week because there's so much sand. Jackson wants to go ride there.
It's a blast.
So you,
When it's wet,
okay.
I'm
So,
thinking about four-wheel drive,
so go after the rain. We've got a great live audience tonight. I appreciate these guys. But he's talking about Appalachia Bay out in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Man, I avoid that question when Jackson says, "Can we go ride a Keystone or Appalachia?" Because I, as a dad or a mechanic, I'm thinking I don't want to rebuild the bike.
Oh yeah,
It's awesome though. Okay.
You're gonna be blowing sand out of it for the next month.
But I also burn up a lot of clutches, and I hold it wide open because I don't fix the bikes. So maybe that's
I'm
why.
telling you, it's hard on the bikes, but it is fun. We do go out to Keystone Dam sometimes.
Oh no, they got a really good. A bunch of the Supercross guys are going out there, like Forkner and all them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
with
saw that.
Reynard,
I saw
yeah.
that. I about ate it out there because I'm trying to hang with the young kids, and Jackson's just laughing at me the whole time. Oh my god.
Is that why you don't like it? Is it just because
That's
you're
why I
not that
don't-
good at it?
That's why I don't like.
I understand now.
The older I get, the faster I was, and the more I don't like the sand. Jackson, go ahead and fire off a question.
Oh crap. Okay, well we went and asked these. What's your goals look like right now? Like, are you trying to do just chasing to each event? What do you? I know your T-shirt kind of a.
Yeah, so right now with freestyle motocross, right now I just travel everywhere and make a living doing it. But for long term, I really passionate about freestyle motocross. I love motorsports, and I want to continue to stay in the industry. So right now I'm working on building a brand called Gravity Slayers, and that's just kind of where what I'm working on right now, and trying to just build riders under me to bring them up and keep the sport growing and thriving.
Because nobody's teaching these kids how to do backflips.
Yeah.
But it would be awesome if you could.
Is there a school? Is there a
I've never heard of
backflip
one,
school?
but I don't know.
Unless you know Travis and you want to go to his house.
Right.
I mean, is there a school?
No, there's no freestyle motocross school.
Why don't you?
There
start
will be.
one? Why don't you start one?
I think it's a good idea. I've actually kicked the idea around with Kicker about starting a facility out at Bartram's place, but when I was kicking that idea around, the whole pandemic thing hit, and then life really got crazy, and I had to go some different directions. So, but I definitely think about it still.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool. I don't hear about it. I mean, you hear motocross schools everywhere, and there's nobody talking about freestyle.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it has to be freestyle, but maybe you could teach them
How to jump.
how to jump.
How to jump a ramp. how to
Because
do
whether it's a
one-handers.
ramp or a dirt, a metal ramp or a dirt, jump, it would
Teaching
still
somebody how to
be
jump.
something to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, I
sure.
agree. Because I mean, you could be really fast or something, but if you're not that great at jumping, then that's where you might be slowed down or something. Or same with riding in the woods. You may be really fast, but you don't know how to get over this jump or this rock section,
Yeah.
and so it can definitely help with learning that kind of control.
So what about the safety aspect of it? I know you're one of the first that I saw come out with or you had your own airbag landing made. So if you guys don't know this, freestyle, started out dirt ramp to dirt landing. Then they started making these steel ramps to dirt landing, and then some guys haul their own landing out, and it'll be a platform landing. Well, you had an airbag landing made.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so it's new technology that I don't know who designed it or came up with it, but yeah, a lot of freestyle guys are using the airbag landings now, and the plus side to that is just the safety factor. We've had so many freestyle athletes pass away because of injuries, and if we can prevent it and make the sport a little bit safer, then I think we should go that route. But then for me, hauling this equipment to events, it makes a huge difference because now you're hauling a 20-foot trailer instead of a 35-foot trailer, and your trailer is half the weight as a big metal landing.
Yep. And I noticed I've helped unfold it and air it up during halftime. I mean, it's a process. I mean, it takes 3 or 4 guys to air it up, and while everybody goes to the concession stand, we're airing it up and getting you prepared. But I haven't, and I don't want to, but I haven't seen you crash on the airbag. I mean, obviously it's better than crashing on dirt.
I don't know if you remember, but one of your buddies crashed in at the end of it. Where were we at?
It was probably in Council Bluff, Iowa.
Yeah, it was. He
so
crashed at the end of it.
I've never personally crashed to the airbag yet. I'm anticipating that you'll actually be able to get up and walk away.
Which he did, right?
Yeah. I hope
and you'll be able to get back on the bike and do it again. But I actually had a guy that I was teaching the front flip to, and he actually bailed out of the front flip. He didn't commit and bailed out and actually landed just on his side on the airbag, and he got up and was fine.
His body landed?
Yeah,
Where did the bike go?
The bike hit the back of the airbag and bounced straight to the flat ground.
So I noticed the bounce. I'm glad you said the bounce because, I mean, depending on how much air you put in it, I mean, it's like a basketball. I mean, so depending on how much air you put in it, you could get a huge bounce.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, how do you determine that? Is
there
a gauge on there?
Well, these things you just have these air vents, and you basically just control it by opening these vents, but it's all kind of just trial and error. I mean,
make it up as you go.
Exactly. So you just gotta test the airbag out and see what feels right. And I mean, as this technology progresses, I think it's gonna be more advanced, and we'll be able to dial them in more. Probably have Bluetooth and apps and stuff.
So talk about Kenny Bartram a little bit, because you mentioned him earlier. I didn't know you until Kenny Bartram.
Mm-hmm.
Did he bring you into the Arena Cross tour? How did you meet him, and what's that about?
Yeah, so I met Kenny Bartram a long time ago. I think it was 2012. I got asked to go do the halftime show for Kicker Arena Cross, and Kenny was the other rider there. So I met Kenny, and I guess he liked my riding or whatever, because he asked me to ride some of his shows, and we just been good friends ever since then. And at the time, I was living in Temecula, California, and I remember I was wanting to get out of that place. It was just it was getting really hard to ride or find riding spots. And Kenny offered his facility to me,
which is amazing.
Yeah,
I've been out there.
Yeah, his shop.
It's like a Pastrana Land 2.
Yeah,
right?
so he's got 160 acres,
Yeah.
and he just offered that to me. He's got a huge foam pit there.
Yep.
And
which I want to ask you about that here in a second.
All right.
I want to ask you that.
So, he's living in Louisiana at the time, and just says, yeah, man, you can go live out there. So
Yep.
I went out there, and I really buckled down, and I used the foam pit like every single day, and I trained, and I built jumps, and I had friends come out, and not all of them made it out in one piece.
He's an awesome dude. Did you say we have questions online? Okay, we're gonna go to a few questions online.
Yeah.
What do you got?
A couple people want to know, what's the worst injury you've had?
What's the worst injury you've had? This is an online question.
I have 2 injuries that I like to talk about.
Who asked that? Who asked that?
Yeah, they're not fun to talk about.
This one is Michelle Walls.
Michelle Walls. All right.
So probably one of the worst injuries that happened to me was I compound fractured my tib and fib on my right leg. So
Both of them came out?
I don't even know. I didn't even look. I just said, my leg's broken. Get me to the hospital. But I remember seeing photos, and there was a huge hole in the side of my calf. Like, it was not good. But it's crazy because everything happens to you for a reason. So that happened to me, and at the time I was like, okay, well, my leg's broke. I'm going to go spend some time with my grandparents in Idaho. When I went to Idaho, Mike Metzger just moved next door to my grandma. And so I met Mike Metzger, and he was one of
The godfather of freestyle.
motocross.
Yeah.
He was one of my first connections in freestyle motocross. So I met Mike, and we became friends, and when I first moved to California, I was living out at his place. I was training out at his ranch. So, yeah, that was a huge.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah,
I remember
really,
Mike
really cool.
as a competitor out at Loretta Lynn's way back in the 89, 1990. I'm 45 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, way back in 89, 90, 91, something like that. He was riding an RM80, and I met him at Loretta's, and he was the most chill dude, and we never knew he was going to go to, you know, the freestyle motocross at that time. You know, he's chasing moto. Awesome dude. So he lives next door to your grandma.
Yeah, so I just link up with him, and he invited me out to California, and at the time he started this freestyle team called Mob Syndicate, and Mob Syndicate.
Okay.
Yeah, so he asked me to be on that, and that was kind of like my introduction to all the bigger names in freestyle motocross.
Awesome.
But then the second injury that I want to talk about is that Kenny Bartram and I.
Oh,
Go ahead.
she
Tell
just
that
said
story.
Kenny's trying to call. Let's answer
Okay.
this.
It's okay. He said it went straight to voicemail, so I'll get him on the line for you. But
Yeah, I got it on.
Okay, all
airplane
right, Kenny,
mode.
keep trying to call. Keep trying to call. Okay,
It'll,
call.
it'll
it.
work now. I got it on.
Yeah, this will be
on
perfect,
airplane
and then
mode.
he'll call. But
It'll work
yeah,
now.
Kenny Bartram and I were jumping side by side, and we thought it would be amazing video to do whips next to each other. Wasn't so amazing. I did a whip, and I kind of went in front of him. He hit me from behind, and it turned me all the way sideways, and I couldn't bring the bike back. And this is over a 75-foot gap.
Hey.
I land sideways.
Go ahead and answer it. Answer it. Hey, who's this? Who's on the line?
This is Kenny. How's it going, man?
What's up, dude?
Oh boy.
Hey, we got Anthony Murray sitting here.
I'm trying to finish the story of that time you landed on me.
Well, that was actually going to be my question. I was going to call and ask how your Dunlop tattoo is doing.
What did he say?
He was going to call and ask what?
I was going to call and ask how your Dunlop tattoo is doing.
Your tattoo.
Oh, it's all healed up now. Yeah, because when he landed on me, basically it tore all the skin off my back and left a big tire mark on it.
So if the online viewers can't hear him, he's asking about what tattoo?
A Dunlop tire tattoo. Yeah.
So it's a real tattoo.
Can you believe we're still friends?
Dude, I don't know, Kenny.
He runs me over. and
That's
we're
not
still
a friend,
friends.
man.
Where did he do it at?
It was at his place.
Just over a jump? Just landed
Yeah,
right
it was
on
over his ramp gap. So I ended up breaking my clavicle. I fractured my T5 vertebrae, fractured my ribs, concussion. I don't even know where I'm at. You know, I probably asked the same question to Kenny like 100 times, you know.
Kenny, what do you think about Anthony Murray? When I say Anthony Murray, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Solid rider.
Solid rider.
Solid
Okay.
rider. No,
Okay.
He's a great rider that really puts a lot of time and effort into developing his talent and his skill, and he's very dedicated to the sport.
Awesome. Yeah, I think he's pretty dedicated. So I hope they can hear him. Can they hear Kenny? Okay. All right, so you're a solid rider. What do you think about that? You want to be Crazy Willie, right? You don't want to be solid.
Well, no, it's a really good feeling hearing that from Kenny because I really do idolize him a lot. I remember being about 15 years old, and I watched him at the Denver Dew Tour. Everybody was there, you know what I mean? And I remember getting his autograph, and to this day, I still have in my little scrapbook from when I was in elementary school writing about Kenny Bartram.
My God.
So for him to be one of my best friends and to have helped me in my career and to get me where I am, like it's a pretty good feeling that, you know, he has good things to say. That
Kenny, have Kimberly hand you some tissue right now because that's pretty awesome. He was in elementary school idolizing you.
You landed on him. And you landed on him, Kenny.
and we're still friends.
Yeah. Did you write about
crushed
that
his
when you were a
heart.
kid?
You
I
crushed
hope
his
someday
shoulder.
Kenny Bartram doesn't crash me.
Dude, that's an awesome story. We got to get you on the show. When are you back in Oklahoma? We got to get you over here.
Man, I would love to come up there and get on it. I'm not sure when I'll be back in Oklahoma, but next time I'm up there, I'll definitely let you know.
Awesome. Well, hey, stay safe out there in the movie stunt world, and let us know when you can get on here. And thanks for the call, buddy.
right, sounds good, man. Take care, buddy.
See you later.
Dude, he is top notch. I mean, you know, I didn't know you until Kenny, okay? And Kenny, and you know, he introduced us to you and all that at the Hoosier deal, and let me tell you, when I think of a stand-up dude, yeah, I'm there. It's Kenny.
Yeah, you know, freestyle motocross people have the stereotype of, you know, we got tattoos and stuff, so you think, oh, we just party, we do drugs and all this stuff, and you know, it's really not like that. And especially like some people that I still really look up to, Kenny's one of them. You know, he's one of the most genuine guys you'll ever meet because he has made an amazing career out of freestyle motocross. He has the fame, and you wouldn't know it just talking to him because he is very humble.
He's been in a dozen movies
Right.
that you wouldn't even know that Kenny is in. You know,
Jurassic
Fantastic
Park or
Four,
whatever it is.
the Supercross movie,
Yeah.
Jumanji.
He's Jumanji.
He's done all kinds of
We're
stuff.
watching Jumanji. We've got 7 or 8 of us in the front row. My neck is straight up watching it, and I'm like, that could be Kenny right there because we knew he was in Jumanji.
Exactly, yeah.
And so you don't know, but these dudes aren't getting the credit. I'm telling you. This guy right here, Anthony Murray, is not getting the credit that he deserves. Guys, I'm telling you, a guy that comes and does this little 15-minute halftime show is amazing. And the next time you go to an arena cross or a freestyle show, just remember this interview because, you know, I know it's tough to drop the gate and race for 15 minutes or whatever, but they're not doing backflips. They're not doing front flips and laying their life on the line. He literally drove to the race in another state and may have to get a ride home.
Yeah.
Because he hit a light at the top of the arena. I don't want to climb a ladder and change that light bulb. He's up there on a dirt bike.
Trying to change it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just dusting them.
Yeah, just.
So, hey, this hour has flown by. We've got about 6 minutes, and we say goodbye to Instagram. Let's jump into this next segment brought to you by my racetrack, Bubbs Creek. It's in Bristow, Oklahoma. Guys, our next ride day is just a ride day. It's a fun practice ride day. It's March 27th. It's a Saturday. It's going to be from 10 to 4 p.m. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. It's Bubbs Creek, and this segment is called Gravity. And we named it that for a reason. Tell us about your new company, Gravity Slayers.
Yeah, you know, like I said, my goals and vision are to build this brand called Gravity Slayers, and basically what it is, it's just freestyle motocross enthusiasts. We love the thrill of flying through the air, so I just want to build a platform for people who want to do freestyle motocross and make a career like I have and like Bartram has. And we want to motivate younger kids and allow them to live their dreams, you know. So we want to build this platform and give them the opportunity.
Absolutely. Like we were talking about earlier, I don't think there's a platform yet for these young kids at the back of our audience tonight that maybe they don't want to race. Maybe they want to learn how to jump.
Yeah.
And that's just fine, you know. Maybe you might be able to go to an Anthony Murray jump school soon. So I mean, yeah, he's shaking his head. Okay, so I mean, that's a possibility in the future because of guys like this, you know. So okay,
and you know, I think if I would have had somebody at a younger age mentoring me, I could be a lot further than I am. But I've had to create my own path. I've had to learn everything on my own. And yeah, I've had people help me out here and there, like Bartram and
Crazy
Crazy Willie. But if I would have had a freestyle coach from when I was a young kid, then I could have, you know, been that much further
absolutely
ahead.
I think we even need to call it Crazy Willie's Jump Jump Program.
There we go.
We need to come out with shirts. Crazy Willie's Jump Program.
And he's got a little go-kart over there, and he can show you how to ride the go-kart as well.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so so let's talk about. I know we're running out of time. Let's talk about Rihanna's fashion show. What the heck? Rihanna fashion show? Did you model?
No.
I saw the pictures. I know you model.
Hey, I know that. I know you're in shape, and you only eat healthy. I asked you if you wanted a beer tonight. You're like, I don't drink beer. What's the
waterman.
deal? Rihanna's fashion show.
Yeah, so that was really cool. So I didn't even really know about that. It was a real like on the down low thing. Like the person that I got hired through was like, hey, I got something big for you, but I can't tell you because, you know, we didn't sign any papers for it yet or anything. And so it was probably just like a few days before going there that I got told I was going to do a deal for Rihanna. But yeah, so that was really cool. They had a huge warehouse in downtown New York City. They built fake sand dunes that were all pink, and we jumped over them as they walked around the sand dunes and under us. So that was super cool to do.
Was she was under you while you're jumping the sand dunes?
Yeah, and actually,
Is the
She
music
was what?
blaring?
She was
I mean,
under you?
yeah,
On the bike?
she wasn't on my bike, so that my buddy actually got to give her a ride. Matt Byton, he actually got to give her a ride at the end, and I was so jealous. But we got to go to her after party, which was really cool. Like Leonardo DiCaprio was there, and it was on one of the rooftops in New York City.
Heck yeah.
And
are they like, dude, we can't believe you can do this and that? Or were
yeah,
you?
they're blown away.
They're
Like,
blown away.
I have some pretty cool GoPro footage of Rihanna coming up to me and talking to me and like
Again, the
like,
speed dial. Is she on your speed dial? Dude,
No,
we gotta
I wish,
talk about
man,
this.
I wish. Well, her assistant did call us again, and we did another shoot for her in Pismo Beach. So I got to do a couple things for her. So
Awesome.
super
Hey,
cool.
let's right now say goodbye to Instagram. I know we got about a minute left, maybe minute and a half. So hey, Instagram, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Check us out next Wednesday. We're going to be in Arlington, Texas at the Sheraton Hotel, and our guest is Alex Martin. Yeah, I said Alex Martin. Live next Wednesday night in Arlington, Texas. Check us out. We've got Supercross Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, and we're going to be there Wednesday night. So goodbye, Instagram. If you want to keep watching, flip the channel to Facebook. Hey, is there not
Channel
a
Facebook.
ton of social media platforms? I mean, we're featured on Facebook, Instagram,
Podcast.
YouTube, the podcast networks of Apple and Spotify. Thank you, Dakota, for hooking us up on that. I mean, it's like, dude, I come from a trucker background, and it's like, hey, everybody just go to Channel 19. Everybody go to Channel 19. It's like, it's simple. Hey, you there? I'm here. I'm all right. Turn on.
Yeah.
What's the deal? Are you on all those platforms? Twitter?
Yeah,
I
so,
didn't even mention Twitter.
Man, my biggest thing is Instagram, really. You can follow me at Anthony Murray FMX, but yeah, I'm on there a lot. And then Facebook, and then I'm starting to do the TikTok thing. I mean,
Doing
there's
dances on there, or what you doing?
Dude, the goat dances
No
are
dances
the
for
best.
me yet.
There are goats on there, and they're timing with the music,
That's
and
cool.
I'm
Yeah, that's all his
laughing for
TikTok
30
is.
minutes.
No, that's all
that
his
stuff's
TikTok is.
addicting. Like, there's seriously so many things, like, you're just, like, you get drawn into and watch it. But literally managing social media is, it's a full-time job.
You need a manager.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though we're not getting, like, the television exposure like I was talking about earlier, we do have the opportunities in our hands. But like I'm saying, it's a full-time job to manage that social media. So,
Yep.
there's,
sure.
there's a lot that goes into it.
And and I'm not complaining. It's there's a lot of platforms, but yeah, you have it at your fingertips, so you
Exactly.
can choose to
You're in control of
Right.
your future.
destiny. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, so we've got a few more things. I want to talk about Nitro Circus,
Okay.
and then we move on to the next thing. Nitro Circus. When do you get the phone call to say, "Hey, we're freaking touring the U.S. I want you on Nitro Circus"? Did Travis call you? We've been to a Nitro Circus show, and it's crazy. It's like Barnum and Bailey on steroids.
Yeah. So, actually, Nitro Circus was coming to Colorado Springs, which is like 30 minutes from my hometown. And my buddy actually just called them up and was like, hey, we got this local guy. Like, you guys need to let him ride.
Yeah.
And they agreed to it. So, basically, that's how I got my in with Nitro Circus, was from a buddy calling him. And then, I traveled with him on some of the tours, and yeah, it's a fun time.
Did you do any of the straight
The crazy
down ones,
contraptions?
the wood ones, the
Did
wood
you jump into
ramps?
the ball of
No,
whatever
I'm
they
smarter
say?
than that.
Yeah.
God
I gotta make a living here.
He's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. And guys, this is who we have on the show tonight. I mean, this guy has been all over the world doing this crazy. We can say shit on this show, right? He's a crazy. Dude. He's a crazy dude. He's Crazy Willie. I mean, this is
he's
nuts.
Crazy Willie.
Man, it's pretty crazy where dirt bikes have taken me. You know, I've traveled all over the world. I've been all through Mexico. I've been through Central America, you know, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua.
Jumping a dirt bike.
Yeah, jumping a dirt bike. You know, I've been to Dubai. I've been to Geneva, Switzerland, and I've pretty much performed in every state in the U.S. So, I mean, I've definitely traveled some.
You're going to be like 80 years old and you're going to tell your grandson, I did 2 tours on FMX.
Right. That's right.
And they're like, no, you didn't.
That's awesome. Guys,
they won't believe this stuff.
It's after 9 o'clock. Our show has come to an end. I want to ask one last thing. What's next for Anthony Murray?
What's next, man? Yeah, you know, with how the pandemic came along, life's been pretty crazy for me. I really don't know what the what the future holds, but I know I'm going to build my brand, and we're going to be here, and we're going to give back to the sport.
Where can they check out Gravity Slayers?
We actually have a website, gravityslayers.com. We have an Instagram, Gravity Slayers. So we're getting out there. So give us a follow, and like I said, we're building a platform for these riders.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure, brother, having you on the show.
Thanks, guys.
I appreciate you coming all the way from Colorado to do this.
Heck yeah.
And we will follow you on all the social media platforms, and we'll be cheering you on from the couch. Guys, tune in next week. Next Wednesday, we are in Arlington, Texas. Supercross is Tuesday night, the 16th. We're going to have our show on the 17th from the Sheraton Hotel. Our guest is Alex Martin. Yes, he is on the Supercross Tour right now. He's in the top 5 in the Supercross series right now. It's going to be a great show. Please tune in. I know a lot of you can't make it to Arlington, but please tune in. Facebook Live, Instagram Live. And Anthony, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks again, guys. It was great.
I appreciate you. Everybody, give it up.
You got to teach me how to do a backflip, dude.
Thanks a lot, guys. This has been fun. This is a
right
fun
away.
show. This is a fun show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was cool.